Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to the Arena Decathlon. The Arena Decathlon is a series of 10 different events where the goal is to collect Decathlon tokens by winning as many of these unique events as possible. You only get one separate token per event that you win, and we're heading back into Decathlon event number 3 for another attempt at getting that Decathlon token. This is a mixer sealed format this time around, where we're building a sealed deck out of 2 packs of Dominaria, 2 packs of Dominaria United, and 2 packs of the Brothers War. Today's gameplay was streamed live at the Twitch channel in the link in the description below, so if you see my face cam on screen and hear me talking to chat, that's what's going on there. But without further ado, let's get into the Decathlon sealed event. Alright, so moving on to Decathlon event number 3. As I said before, this is a mixer sealed format. Instead of 6 packs of one set, we have 2 packs of 3 different sets that were never designed to be played together. Dominaria, Dominaria United, and Brothers Wars. It's pretty interesting. A lot of artifacts in the format because there's the historic themes in Dominaria and all the artifacts from Brothers War. A lot of splashy, slower, grindier kind of stuff because that's what original Dominaria and Dominaria United are all about. There's some overlap with the sets that's interesting. Obviously a lot of legendaries. 4 of these packs come with a legendary every time, Dominaria and Dominaria United. So interesting sealed format. We'll see what we bust open here and get to build with today. Of course, this is an Arena Decathlon event, so it is a phantom event. We're not keeping anything we open, and I hate these rares. Painful Quandary might be okay in sealed. It has been astronomically slow in draft, unfortunately. In the Brothers War format, definitely don't like opening up a dual land. Forebear's Blade's pretty good. I don't think Rune Chanter's Pike's that good. Have to have a ton of instants and sorceries. Maybe it's okay. Shadowrite Priest does literally nothing. We're not going to have enough clerics to use that. And Joyra is pretty good in blue-red if you have a lot of legends or artifacts. There's a lot of artifacts. Joyra, blue-red Joyra, card draw. Could be a sweet archetype we could build. So our best rares are probably Forebear's Blade being number 1. It's an equipment that makes anything a pretty massive threat and moves itself over every time whatever's equipped dies. So probably our best rare that's going to go into pretty much any deck we build. Then it's probably Joyra, because there's a lot of artifacts in this format. And then maybe a Pike, and I feel like the other 3 are probably just unplayable. Shadowrite Priest and the Addercar Waste are definitely nothing exciting. We do have one more rare because we opened the Retro Framed Artifact rare. So we got an additional rare in the sealed pool, so we'll see what it is. It is a Taunos, which is completely unplayable. It makes duplicates of beasts and birds when we cast them. Okay, let's search for beasts and birds. There's no beasts. There are 3 birds. 2 of them are white, and Taunos is a blue-green card. Okay, Taunos is unplayable. Let's see what we've got here. Check out our colorless and our multicolored. We have the Forebear's Blade in colorless, the Rune Chanter's Pike if we have a lot of instants and sorceries. Burnished Heart is interesting if we want to splash a lot of colors, and if we're going to be playing Joyra in blue-red, we might play Burnished Heart just to have another historic card to trigger the card draw. However, we don't have a lot of colorless cards, we don't have a lot of artifacts here. We have 6 total, and most of them are not very good. Like the Hero's Heirloom and the Vanquisher's Axe are just inefficient equipment spells that aren't great. Burnished Heart isn't great unless I specifically want a lot of artifacts in here. I don't think our artifacts are really good enough to be like an artifact Joyra deck, but if blue and red are our best colors, we'll still probably go for it. Nothing super exciting out of the artifacts outside of the Forebear's Blade. For multicolored, we have Taunos, but there's no reason to build a Taunos deck. Again, we have 3 birds. 2 of them are white. One of them is a Koilos Rock. We do have a Koilos Rock to work with Taunos, but just not going to do anything. Rada's pretty strong if we're in a lot of colors. We have some decent mana fixing in green, blue, and green, white. We also have green, black, black, white, blue, and another white, blue. A lot of dual lands in blue. We have blue, white, blue, black, blue, green. And then for green, we have blue, green, and green, black. So some good overlapping duals. Slimefoot is the best multicolored card we've seen so far. This card is ridiculous. 3 mana for a 2/3. Whenever a sapling you control dies, you deal a damage to each opponent and gain a life, and it can sit there making more saplings. So if you get into a board stall where each player is just playing off the top of their deck, any turn where you both miss a draw step, you get some saplings while they get nothing. And this just grinds out the game. You can chump block over and over and over again and drain your opponent to death while you do it. Pretty similar to the Anvil we just won 7 games with. So, in red-black, we have Junkyard Genius, which is great if we are an aggressive deck or a deck that can steal opposing creatures to try to sacrifice them. There's also Garna, which is decent in an aggressive deck. Not anywhere near as exciting as Junkyard Genius, but it's fine. It is fine if we're already in that color pair. We have Joyride in blue-red that we already talked about. If we have a ton of artifacts and legends, she could be good, but outside of that, she's not going to do much. And then dual lands. So that's our multicolored and our colorless. The biggest signals here, the biggest things I would like to build around are Slimefoot and the Rakdos cards. So we could be like a Jund sacrifice deck. So we will keep those in mind as our strongest gold cards as we look through each color and see what looks best. Oh wow, white looks powerful. White looks powerful. We've got some filler like Great Desert Prospector. We're not really going to have anything to do with all the Power Stones anyway. Onulet is solid filler. Scrapwork cohorts are great. They really clutter up the board and give you more value after they die. Even sentries are fine and sealed, just a nice evasive threat to close out the game if we're in a board stall. Sergeant at Arms is decent because you run it out turn 3 if you need to, and you can kick it late game to clutter up the board. Medic's fine if we're slow, but pretty filler. Juniper Root Weaver is the example. It's just the prime example of filler. 2 mana 2/2, 3 mana 3/3. It's whatever. Sarah Disciple's bad if you can't trigger its historic very frequently, or you don't have a ton of equipment. And we're probably going to run 4 Bear's Blade, but that's it. So that's pretty bad. We don't have a lot of 3-drops for recommission. We have 4 total right now. If our second color has tons of cheap creatures, it could be good. But then what I really like about our white is we have these solid creatures like Scrapwork Cohort cluttering things up, decent filler like Onulet and Sentry and Sergeant at Arms, and we have pretty great removal. We have Prison Sentence here as a pacifism effect that lets us scry, and Blessed Light as instant speed exile removal, and mass production for just like a token strategy. So white looks pretty good to me. I'm pretty interested in that. Well, let's check out our blue. All right, blue is not my kind of deck. I can tell you that right now. It doesn't look unplayable, but it's not my kind of stuff. So Sage doesn't do anything. Wall doesn't do much. Hammer doesn't do anything. Cooldown doesn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, blue is just some annoying interaction. It's like a counterspell, a good draw spell. We can throw a Take Flight on something if our opponent's low on removal that can take over a game pretty quickly. We have some good evasive threats, including a Flash Flying Koilos Rock that we love. But blue doesn't have a ton of stuff, just some annoying blue stuff. If you really like playing blue, you could probably do it in this sealed pool. But I don't see a massive reason for me to get pushed into the color. Holy Lord, black is good. Our creatures are not, but we have Overwhelming Remorse, Extinguish the Light, an Eviscerate, a Disfigure, and a Fungal Infection. So we have 3 removal spells that can blow up anything, no matter how big it is, 2 of which are instant speed, 1 of which exiles. We also have 2 great cheap removal spells to kill 2 toughness things, Disfigure and Fungal Infection. Our black non-creature spells just cannot be beat here. These are the best non-creature spells we've seen so far in the sealed pool by far. Sure, I have Demonic Vigor, which is whatever, probably getting cut. Quandary, probably getting cut. But Shadow Prophecy is even good card draw if you have at least 2 different lands on board, and Dark Bargain is always decent card draw. Their instant speed as well, which when we have 2 instant speed removal spells, actually 4, Remorse, Extinguish, Fungal Infection, and Disfigure, it's going to make it really easy to hold those up, because then if we don't cast the removal spell, we cast the Dark Bargain. So really love the non-creature spells in black. Now the creatures are lacking. There's just not a lot of them. The ones that are here aren't terrible. Well, I guess they kind of are. They're all filler. None of them are unplayable, but they're all really, really filler. A 2 mana 2/2. A 3 mana 2/3 Menace. If we're in red, this is pretty good. But 3 mana 2/3 Menace is filler. 3 mana 2/1 Flyers, fine. 4 mana 3/3 Menace is fine filler. And again, 4 mana 3/3 fine filler. If we're black-white, the kicker effect's pretty good on the Warhorse. But again, nothing that's better than filler. And some of them are pretty bad filler, like the 2 mana 2/2. Technically, I do have 1 Cleric in here. I have the Stronghold Confessor to go with the Shadow Rite Priest. So yeah, black has the highest non-creature card quality that we have seen so far. Looking at red, the biggest reason to play red for us would be to be able to play our black-red cards. We have 2 of them, one of which is incredible, the Junkyard Genius. So if we do go black-red, we also get another removal spell, Fight with Fire, which is a great one because it's pretty efficient. 3 mana for 5 damage, so it's going to kill... Excuse me, it's going to kill big creatures for only 3 mana. And it gives you an alternate win condition if you make it to 9 mana. You can just kick this and shoot your opponent for 10, or wipe their entire board, pretty much. So Fight with Fire wins a ton of games if you get to 9 mana, which is not that unreasonable to do in a sealed. That's pretty great non-creature spell there. Onslaught is not good. Run Amok. We have 3 great combat tricks, though. Furious Bellow, Run Amok, and Whirling Strike. All very efficient and very deadly. Don't have a lot of great creatures to use them with, though. Our black creatures were all pretty bad. And looking at the red creatures here, like we have decent, well, we have 2-drop creatures. Champion of the Flame has very little to work with it. Amplifier is not very good. Warcaller is literally a 2-mana 2/2. The creature spells are the problem. The non-creatures are great in both colors, but both colors have some real filler creatures again. Cyclops and Warbrood are both pretty good. 4 mana 4/4, 4 mana 3/4 trample. Alright, I like the idea of red-black. The creature quality goes up a little bit when we do add the multicolored cards, so that is something to keep in mind as well. So black-red is 100% a deck to take a look at. Check out our green. Green would give us Slimefoot if we're in green and black, which is something to keep in mind. So green has Llanowelfs, which is obviously very, very good. Ramping you up into your big plays early. We've got a couple Honor Guards if we're getting aggressive. Some really defensive cards between Snare Spinner, Scout, and Vine Wall. Vine Wall's fine if we need some fixing, so if we end up in 3-color, maybe we end up in black, green, splash red, and then the Vine Wall helps find those mountains. That could be okay. Druid is fine. Pallbearer's fine. Ironcraw's fine. Could see some mixture of black, green, and red. Green's about as solid as white. Probably a little bit better than our blue. The main thing green gives us, though, is a multicolored card that we're not looking at right now. The main thing that green gives us is Slimefoot, which is just a very good card. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to look at black, white, black, red, black, green, and Jund, probably, for this sealed pool. Start with black, red, because Junkyard Genius is super good. Garna as well. Oh, Jund gives us Rada as well. If we go Jund, we get Slimefoot, Rada, Junkyard Genius, and Garna. Jund is legit. None of our dual lands, only one of our dual lands lines up with Jund, though. The rest are in like white and blue. They're like all in blue, which I don't even really want to play blue in this sealed pool. It's awkward. I could still run them to up the domain for Rada, but I think that's my only domain card, so it might not be worth it. We'll see. Oh, I have the Shadow Prophecy. Could be worth it to play some tapped swamps and tapped forests for the Shadow Prophecy. I'm going to look at exclusively black-red first, but then I'll look at Jund. Yeah, Garna might be tough with a double pip, because red is likely the splash in Jund. Garna might not make the cut. Well, this Garna. Is the other one a Garna? No, it's a Rada. Those are different names. We could play Burnished Heart. I still don't love it, but it's solid and sealed. Could work in sealed. We'll keep that in mind. Oh, speaking of artifacts, I need to put the Forebear's Blade in. That's going to go in any deck we play. I don't think we're putting Runechanter's Pike in. Maybe? Is this card any good? Has anybody played with this yet? This doesn't look that great to me. First Strike's kind of big, but 2 mana to play and 2 to equip. And it doesn't give any additional power for a while. I'm going to look up the data on that card, because I have no idea how to evaluate that. It looks pretty bad to me. But First Strike can be big sometimes. But yeah, if we run all the red-black removal, we're going to have a lot of instants and sorceries, you know? Probably pretty mid. Yeah, it looks mid. 54% win rate. That's incredibly average for 17 lands. That's like the average user's win rate. Probably not going to play it. Like it's like not terrible, but not great. That's what it looks like. Okay. How many creatures is this deck? 14? Oh no. I have to run all my really bad creatures like Champion of the Flame to keep that creature count relatively high. I think I'm just going to cut that anyway. We have some tremendously filler stuff in here. We've got some 2/2s, and that's it. Just 2 mana 2/2. That's the full text. I kind of don't have any good 2 mana creatures, though, in the whole sealed pool. Because even in green, I have the 2 mana green 3/1s with Ward. Those are better than these 2 mana 2/2s, but still, not by a lot. I don't love Chain Dancer, but it's pretty cute with Forebear's Blade. But if I'm putting in things that are cute with Forebear's Blade, I should be putting the Champion in. Alright, Onslaught's bad. Quandary seems too slow. Probably cutting more creatures, so I feel like these combat tricks just aren't going to make it in. We're just going to go all removal. So cut Champion, Quandary, Vigor, Onslaught. Guess we can keep the best of these 3 combat tricks. I feel like Whirling Strike's probably the best of the 3. +2/+0 first strike and trample is going to win almost every combat that Run Amok would. And almost every combat that Furious Bellow would. And it hedges our bets in the middle where we pretty much always trample over for a little. Instead of not trampling over with Bellow and sometimes not winning combat with Run Amok. Run Amok's better on the aggressive, but the fact that you can block and use Whirling Strike is really nice. Yeah, I like the keywords. Keep the Whirling Strike. That would be the deck here. Some pretty filler creatures again. We've got 2 mana 2/2s with no other text. But we have really good non-creature spells in this deck. And some very good creatures like Junkyard Genius. And Balduvian Atrocity is pretty great when you are both black and red, which we would be here. Forebear's Blade is huge. The removal's all phenomenal. We have great card draw. I feel like because the removal is so phenomenal, and the best stuff we have going for us, though, is bomb stuff like Forebear's Blade and some good draw spells. That's all the kind of stuff that you would want in 3-color grindier decks. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to try to go for Jund here, but we'll see. Let's see if Jund looks better than this. I feel like almost definitely it will. So if we go Jund, we play... What if I splash the green and keep Garna? I just put in Slimefoot. Green gives us the Honor Guards at 2 mana, and the Land Werewolves at 1. The Vine Walls to help fix, but the other creatures are all still pretty filler. The Pallbearer and the Druid. Maybe I actually splash the green, and then I can still play Garna. Our curve gets really bad when we do this, because we're going to have like no 2 mana creatures. Green does help early game and late game, but nowhere in between. That is kind of where the worst cards in our deck are. Yeah, let's I'm gonna see black, green, splash red. Oh, I didn't look at my non-creatures, I forgot about them. There was something non-creature in green that was good. Never mind, I lied. Gift of Growth is okay. Here's the Sky is okay, but we're not gonna play those in a deck with this much just great black and red removal. We'll play the Memorial and the Haunted Mire though. Now we have multiple cards that care about domain, so we might even go for these kind of things. Definitely Radiant Grove, because we'll keep the Warhorse in, and there's one card that could trigger it. Okay, so if I go green, black, splash, red, we're no longer playing Garna and like all these red creatures, pretty much. Probably no Whirling Strike, no Warbrute. We just splash in a Junkyard Genius and a Fight with Fire. Is it weird that this looks better to me? Because we actually kind of have a curve now, and we have some big late game now. We just had 4 drops was the biggest last time. I feel kind of dumb. This looks more appealing to me. It's better at getting to Fight with Fire as well, because well, it's better at kicking Fight with Fire because we have Burnished Heart in here now. Some Vine Walls and a Land Werewolves that also pick up lands. Oh yeah, the green-red legendary, that's definitely going to go in. Brought a 3/3 that gives something like plus a bunch whenever they become tapped. Not actually super good. It's not as good as Junkyard Genius or Slimefoot, but definitely put her in. I think I would cut the Priest. 2 more cards to cut. This can be played at 4 mana. Let's tap another creature plus. No, it's gonna be like +3/+3, +4/+4. Especially, I have a lot of other duels I can put in here that I can just run as tapped forest, tapped swamps, the up domain. That would make Rada and Shadow Prophecy better. That I might throw in here. Actually, monumentally into the Rada still. Could go real slow and take the Honor Guards out. Rely on Disfigure Fungal Infection in the early game. Just really play for the late game. I'm definitely taking the Priest out. I really don't know about the other 2 cards. This is always the hardest part of deck building. I just don't want to cut anything. I don't want to cut my children, my babies. Let's go full Grind Fest with our Mountain of Removal. Priest, Honor Guards, grinding time. Play all the tapped lands as well now that we're not doing anything in the early turns anyway. To up the domain count, make our draw spell absurd. And make our Rada very big as well at buffing other creatures. How is the mana base? We have 3 red cards in the deck. Burnish can only hit basics, but Burnish does get our 3rd for domain, yeah. I'm not going to run any plains or islands naturally. Yeah, Burnish being able to make sure we have at least 3 for domain is really nice. Okay, so 3 red cards, a ton of black, and a chunk of green. 13 black, 7 green, 3 red. I want to be able to have double red for Fight with Fire, but I don't need double red until I have 9 lands total. Maybe run 3 mountains in here and rely on Burnish Heart a little bit as well. 4 might be reasonable if we have enough black and green sources amongst the other cards. How many do we have? We have 5, 6, 7 black sources, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green sources. Probably supposed to like cut a mountain at a swamp here to go up to 8 black sources. We really want that black source turn 1, so we have our Disfigure and Fungal Infection up, and then we need double black turn 4 for Extinguish. We don't need to win the game with a Fight with Fire. Just using it as a 3 mana, 5 damage burn spell is still great and perfectly worth splashing. So yeah, we'll cut a mountain at a swamp. Call it a deck there. Game 1 of the Jund Domain, and we've got a beautiful hand. There are no forests, but we have a Burnished Heart. We have Disfigure at the ready turn 2. We have both mountains for the Fight with Fire to try to close the game out later. Super sick. We already have 3 land types for domain if I hit Rada, or if I hit my Shadow Prophecy, and we just hit Rada. There's a Braids from our opponent. That is very scary and limited, and I probably have to shoot that with Fight with Fire. I just realized I'm so... my brain... whoa! What the... whoa! What? I'm gonna let them draw a card. I'm not sacking a land here. That is the most aggressive thing I've ever seen. That is the most aggressive thing I've ever seen. Good lord. Okay, opponent is mad. They are angry. They must have a real aggressive hand here. Immediately going for that. This is dealing 1 damage to me every turn. I don't need to disfigure it immediately. I can play the Rada next turn even if I don't Burnished Heart, so... I might Genius here. Although... I'm not going to use Genius's effect for a Sentry anyway. I guess we'll just play the 2/2. No trade. Now, Whisper Blood Liturgist. That is definitely getting disfigured and an excellent draw for us. We hit the untapped land, so I can cast Rada and disfigure Whisper in the same turn. That will be the play. There's the Eviscerate for Rada, sadly. Well, now we kind of just never need to sacrifice the Burnished Heart. We'll just keep slapping with it. Play a 3/3 Menace here. That's our scariest creature to keep attacking with. Daring Archaeologist returns an artifact. They do not have one engraved, so it's just a 3/3, but every time they cast a historic spell, they get a +1/+1 counter. So that can get bigger as the game progresses. Might be on block, sack Burnished Heart. That puts me to 7 mana to cast the Ironclaw Crusher. If something really, really bad happens where that's going to be a terrible play, I can Dark Bargain instead to draw some cards. Alright, they're over it. Yep, plan there was going to be block, sack, play a 7-drop next turn, and we had a pretty good board state. They might be flooded out there. Maybe they were just flooded in the opening hand, so they wanted to just sack lands aggressively, and then they just kept drawing more lands or something. 1-0, heading into game 2. Another beautiful hand, mana-wise. Turn 1 Llanowar Elves as well. Always spooky. Draw any of our 3 mana cards outside of our 1 red 3 mana card. We can cast them immediately. Playing against blue-black. Nothing yet. Which tap land would I rather play? I'm not going to sacrifice this for a long time, so I'd probably rather just get the domain count up and pass. I'm not going to go Swamp Confessor. I want to kick that card whenever I play it. Play around a flash creature here? I think I do. They don't have a flash creature, but I really didn't want to attack with this and have it get killed by a 2-mana flash 1/2 flyer or something that's in a lot of formats. Don't remember the old Dominarias enough to remember what flash creatures are in there. Shivan Devastator as a 2/2. Okay. 2/2 Devastator it is. That does still kill me, because I have nothing to deal with flyers right now. Curve out with Confessor. I shoot myself in the face to find a way to kill that. I think I just curve out with Confessor. I can try to outrace it. I do have a lot of removal spells that can kill a 2/2, so should be okay. They could have played it really aggressively early because they do have black mana in their deck. There are a lot of graveyard recursion spells in these formats. There's a lot of different cards they could have that would put it back in their hand and let them recast it. So if we can, I would love to hit our exile removal. Oh. Setting up a combat research so they can draw cards as it hits us. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Now I don't care what removal I draw, I just want any of it. Because now we have to kill it, even if their plan is to get it right back onto the board in a bigger status. When it's got a curiosity on it that draws them a card every turn, we really need to kill it regardless. So we're going to have to Dark Bargain and hope to hit a Disfigure next turn if I don't top deck removal. Did not top deck removal, but Shadow Prophecy digs 1 card less deep than Dark Bargain, but does it for 1 less mana. Do I have any 2-mana removal spells? I don't have any 2-mana removal spells, so there's literally no reason to Shadow Prophecy over Dark Bargain. I might as well dig 1 card deeper. The only removal I could use to kill Devastator immediately is Disfigure either spell I cast. So I'm going to use Dark Bargain for the Disfigure. Yeah, we've got Disfigure for less than 2. I'm just trying to think if we had anything for exactly 2 that would make me want to play Prophecy instead of Bargain. What do we draw here? Probably one of the lands. I already have double green, double black. I don't have red yet, so we'll grab Mountain Crusher. This is true, and now Prophecy will be just as effective as Dark Bargain once I play the Mountain. We'll be at 4 domain. Supply drop. Just getting real aggressive with the Devastator, just slamming in. Must not have any other creatures in the hand right now. Just jamming that thing into our face. Combat tricks are pretty useless when you don't have creatures to be blocking with in the first place, so I like the play, just get aggro here. Carrion Locust can trade into Devastator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 mana, so I can play Locust and hold up Prophecy. If I play my untapped land here. I think that's the play. We're hoping that they don't have a counterspell or removal, though. I guess I only take 2 damage next turn. But they keep drawing cards, which is really bad. Alright, please do not kill my Locust. I would appreciate it greatly if Meebug can remain. That is a nasty, but that thing is human-sized, feasting on that man. Yeah, I don't like when blue mana is up. It's not fun. There's just combat tricks all over now. Yep, Furious Bellow, sure thing. If I draw something, I can't cast it for 0, so it's just going to resolve either way. Just Prophecy in the end step, so I can threaten some other removal or something for now. It doesn't really matter either way. We did stop them from drawing a card there, at least. And force them to use a combat trick, so kept them off their little card advantage stuff, but they do draw one from supply drop. We're both drawing a lot of cards here. There we go. Alright, we're golden. Overwhelming Remorse. It's the exile removal as well, which is exactly what I was asking for. I don't know what other card I take. We have 1 creature in grave. Remorse is going to cost us 4 mana total. I'll have 2 mana up. I can't cast any of these the turn I play Remorse regardless. I can play Vine Wall, though. Vine Wall could hit another land for Rada's Domain. Maybe it's Rada? Warhorse can be 2 threats off 1 card, though, because I do have the White Source from Radiant Grove. So Warhorse plays the best against single target removal. I'm gonna go Rada. That might be whack, but we'll find out. Fight with Fire. Okay, we just get more removal spells. Oh yeah, and I'm about to mill multiple cards, so I actually do get to play Remorse for 2 and still Rada. I'm going to Remorse this Devastator for 2 reasons. The main one being that I'm exiling it in case they have something to put it back in their hand and then cast it as an even bigger version. But the other reason is because I can afford to do that and play Rada, and then I get to save Fight with Fire to potentially get kicked later. Phyrexian Scriptures. They can't skip that one. That's an original saga, so it doesn't blow everything up until next turn. So I do get 1 big attack with Rada here. And it blows up all non-artifacts, so they don't blow up the Crusher. So I'm going to spend all 7 mana on Crusher here. Because any other play I play is going to get blown up by the Scriptures anyway. Unfortunately, I don't hit them very hard here because I'm spending my mana for the Crusher instead of just hitting them for what? This would be another 5 damage. I can hit them for 8 or I can play a Crusher. Rather play a Crusher. Sad. Missed out on some Rada damage, but hey, they don't have anything for the Crusher yet. Keep rolling things down. This is a huge swing from Pallbearer. Attack for 10. Attack for 2. Oh, it can target itself? Oh my god! Holy shit! That card's scarier than Rada. Oh my god, I thought that it was like, I thought it was like Rada where it has to target another creature, but it can target itself. So we buffed it up with Pallbearer to make it 10 power and attacked for 20. Alright. Sure, we are just stumbling into incredible lines today. Opponent thinks I'm big brain. I'm just over here just throwing out cards. Good lord. All right. This hand's beautiful. Great early interaction and super good late game stuff. If my opponent's aggro, we're going to die, but aggro's really hard to do in sealed. Especially when one pack is Dominaria and one's Dominaria United. If their brothers' war packs are good, though, we're going to get eviscerated. Actually, that's not true. We have Eviscerate in our deck. Alright, Inscribed Tablet for mana fixing. Play all our tap lands. Mono red so far, but Tablet is going to change that. Mishra's Bauble for card draw. See what the Tablet brings. Red-white, so they are pretty aggressive, it looks like. They've revealed some creatures there. Viashino Branch Rider, a hasty threat. Radiant Lightning shoots me for a bunch and kills all my Saprolings. Looks pretty aggro. Red-white aggro. They have the Jetmir sleeves, the red-green-white sleeves. So they could be playing green to kick that Viashino thing. It did have a green kicker effect. So our opponent is potentially 3-color. Red, white, green. I'm going to keep getting my tap lands out of the way, even though they know I have a forest. We'll let them have information. Baird. Baird's pretty good. If they get a +1/+1 counter on one of their cards, or an aura, or an equipment, then Baird is going to keep spitting out soldiers during their end step. Now we do have a fungal infection that could potentially kill Baird. So I'm going to see if I can get that to work here. Where I give Baird -1/-1, then block it with a 1/1. If they play anything that would make that not work, then I'll just Dark Bargain instead. And kill Baird next turn with Fight with Fire. Like if they play an equipment, suit them up, anything like that. If they play a combat trick here, they'll get me pretty bad. Ooh, just skip right through the turn. I'm pretty A-okay with that too. We'll Dark Bargain then, use all of our mana. Get a Shadow Prophecy and Overwhelming Remorse. Sorry, Balduvian Atrocity, but Shadow Prophecy is great value here. We have a green, blue, black, red. We have everything but a plane, so this is a dig 4 cards deep spell. Still just holding up Infection for Baird. My only creature I could play here is just a 3/3 unkicked. Yeah, lowered the remorse cost as well. Yeah, I play a swamp here, and now I can fungal infection, and if it doesn't work out, I still have an overwhelming remorse. If I like really need to kill Baird, I probably won't end up doing it. Probably going to be fungal infection plus Shadow Prophecy, or just Shadow Prophecy, but we'll see. Juggernaut, that's okay. I can Fight with Fire that card. Don't see a reason to spend instant speed removal on it. I am at 5 mana right now, so I'm only 4 mana away from Fight with Fire getting kicked, and I have 2 more lands, so I'm 2 lands away from kicking Fight with Fire if I hit another red source. So that could be a reason to keep it. So our lines really depend on whatever we draw off Shadow Prophecy. That'll definitely decide what we're doing. If I hit like no more removal or no more good plays, I'll probably just fight the Juggernaut out of here. They are just going to pass turn. Okay, there's more removal. Perfect. Slimefoot? Ah, I can take Slimefoot and Genius or get an Eviscerate here to get rid of the Juggernaut. I'm going to take Slimefoot and the Eviscerate. We're not aggressive enough that Junkyard Genius is actually all that it's cracked up to be. So we're probably playing Eviscerate here and saving our instant speed removal stuff. And saving our Fight with Fire for if I hit another red source to get kicked. Haphazard bombardment. That is literally 100% land destruction, so fight with fire is no longer plan. So we'll fight Baird with fire if we don't fungal infection him now. Because this just targets 4 of our lands, and 2 of them are going to die. That's so rude. 3 of them are going to die. 1 per end step. We just need them to not hit the mountain immediately. The mountain needs to die much later. If mountain dies turn 1, we're actually not in that bad of a spot. We have like 2 more mountains in the deck. They didn't even choose the mountain. Okay, we're good. We're good. These lands can all die. These lands can all die. Ooh, and we got the fungal infection on Baird. Okay. Alright, I'm going to lose some lands, but it's cool. I've got some more. Yeah, we're fine. We're gonna be fine. It's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a really rude, really rude play, though. Of just, you know what? Fine, I'll blow up 3 of your lands. You're not going to play creatures. Might as well. I think it matters what land I play. Actually, it does. I need to play Swamp so that I can play Slimefoot and hold up the Overwhelming Remorse. Although I haven't played any creatures all game, I probably should have just played Druid so I could see if I could dig removal out for my weaker creatures. If they have removal, they haven't had to use it all game, so they can just shoot Slimefoot with Lightning Strike or something. When it attacks at the top X, where X is its power, you may exile. They get to cast something for free if this gets its attack off, so let's make sure that doesn't happen. Get the 2 for 1 there, kill their creature in their hammer hand, stop them from drawing a card. They don't have the removal for Slimefoot. Alright. Things are going pretty great. 6 mana. I do not have enough mana to use Slimefoot and play one of my spells. I think I'm going to Burnished Heart anyway. We're losing a lot of lands here, and I have a potential like 7 and 9 mana card in my hand. Oh no. Recommission on Baird is pretty good because they start getting soldiers because Baird has a counter on it. Yeah, I'm gonna crack this. Mountain. Worst here. Probably should have waited for that to resolve to choose, but I picked correctly. We're exactly even on each. And now there's no more lands getting blown up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is land number 8. Which means I can make 2 1/1s with Slimefoot, and as soon as I hit 1 more land, I can kick Fight with Fire, kill Baird and all of the 1/1s they got off of Baird. And if they play any more creatures, I can kill that too. So, I can either kick a Druid, gain 10, and have another 2/3 to block with, or I could just make a couple Saplings. You know, I like Saplings, and I'm just going to do that. Because a 2/3 isn't going to change how I'm blocking, because I'm not going to block Baird. Because I could double block Baird with 2 2/3s, but then Slimefoot would die, and I'm not going to let that happen. So the only thing I'm blocking is their 1/1/1, which a single 2/3 already blocks it, and the 1/1 Saplings block it well as well. And by setting up Saplings, even if I don't hit the land next turn, I can get enough Saplings that Baird can't attack anymore. So if I block with a 1/1 and a 2/3 Druid, I kill Baird. Or if I block with 3 Saplings, I kill Baird. Send in the squad. We'll trade a Sapling into the Soldier. And take 3. Slimefoot gonna do some Slimefoot things. Making a combat trick to save the Soldier. Nope, they're just gonna get some more 1/1s. That's fine. We can deal with 1/1s. We've got plenty of our own that we can play. There's the land for Fight with Fire. Can't play it this turn, but I can certainly get 2 more Saplings and then play it next turn. I love how I got 3 lands destroyed this game, but we're still going to be casting our 9 mana spell. This has been a long one. I had to get 12 lands total before we started using that. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the rest to their face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fight with Fire is so good. Oh my god. Oh, they could have a Gideon's Approach to kill Slimefoot, but we've kind of won, even if Slimefoot dies now. Exactly what I stated. Got a Warhorse to play with all these Saplings out. I have Druid to gain 10, get a 2/3 down. I probably shouldn't have sent the Slimefoot in. I won't in the future, but luckily we were in a good enough position. It does not matter, I should say. Game's not over yet. Kick a Warhorse. That's going to be our primary attacker now, and I'm going to crack this Memorial and see what we hit. I guess I could hit a cheap enough creature to immediately play. I need to not mill out, but I have 13 cards, and I have Iron Claw Crusher and Gnarlroot Pallbearer still in the deck. Those are both great. When I play Pallbearer, I'm just going to buff a 1/1, and then it's... I guess that'll make Warhorse get in. I'm going to choose Pallbearer. Trample's big. Trample's a very big mechanic here. Yeah, plus, yeah, I play Pallbearer. One of these 1/1s is going to be a 5/5, so I'm attacking with a Warhorse and a 5/5, and they can only chump one of them, so they have to chump Warhorse and take 5. I can even attack with everybody, because if they don't chump Warhorse, they're dead. So all the 1/1s can get in without fear of them dying, because they can't choose to just block a 1/1, or the 5/5 plus 6 minimum is going to kill them. So we just get to do a full swing here. I don't know if I'm even going to get to the point where I cast Crows and Druid. We might kill them before that, since we drew into Pallbearer. But it will be really rude if it does get to that point. They may have left the room. They may be over it. So how's it going, everybody? How's your holiday season been? I guess the holidays are over now. It's January 4th. Oh, they're back. Never mind. Never mind. I no longer care about any of Griffin Protector actually is a solid draw for them. Now I think I sort of can't afford to send the 1/1s in. They still have to block one of these, or they're dead. But they could block one of these in a Sapperling. That's worth it. Just send the squad in. We're good. I guess that's going to soak up my mana that I could be using to play a 3/3 Menace. Because I'm going to want to sacrifice whatever 1/1 Sapling they block. Yeah, Warhorse has actually turned out to be better than filler in here, because it was just really good with Slimefoot. But that's more just because Slimefoot was ridiculous than that Warhorse is doing particularly a lot. Because if I just didn't attack Slimefoot into the Reproach, I'd be good. Yeah, no, Warhorse gets some toughness too. Warhorse is good when you've got a bunch of Sapperlings. For sure. Yeah, they can't kill either of our big attackers here. And I wouldn't be worried if they could kill the soldier, because it's just a 1/1 in the future. The art reminds you from Artax from Neverending Story. I don't believe I've seen Neverending Story. Every time somebody in chat references something, it's the saddest, because it's like, I'm sorry, I don't get the reference. R.I.P. This is Happy Madison all over again. Did I enjoy playing Slimefoot? Yes. We are 3-0. We're going to be an average run no matter what. We're at least 3 wins in. Excellence. Nice. Alright, we are on the play with a turn 2 Vine Wall and a good removal spell. Let's go. There's no reason to use Confessor. Got a lot of black spells here. Let's get the double black out immediately. Vine Wall for Swamp Forest Mountain. Hello, Mountain. Come on and join the party. Alloy Animist. If they get some non-creature artifacts, that's going to do some things. Until that point, we're good to chill and do nothing. Probably just play the Druid. Pegasus Courser. They can start hitting us for 2 a turn because the Courser can jump the Alloy Animist into the sky. It's a pretty low amount of damage. I will eviscerate that if they play another big threat to jump into the sky, but for now, we can just keep playing our own creatures. I can take 2 damage. Stone Retrieval Unit. Well, that certainly works with the Animist. Now they can animate a 4/4, send the 4/4 at us in the sky with the Courser. Do I have to kill the Animist? That seems dumb. Don't enjoy that. Things are lining up really well for our opponent with that Animist, though. If I kill the Courser, the only thing they can afford to attack with is the 4/4, and they'd have to spend all their mana into doing that. They only have the 1 non-creature artifact. If I just put another 2/3 on the board or something, I can block the 4/4 later. I think I'm going to eviscerate the Courser and chill. Just the scariest threat. Then I'll probably go Druid Locust next turn. 4/5 Courser. I can definitely make sure that does not trigger because I'm going to exile another card from their grave. This turn with Locust. Now they have 0 creatures in grave. I have double blocks for 4/4s or 4/5s. Pallbearer for +0/+0. Good stuff, Locust. There's a Crusher. I'm 1 mana away, and my land is a tap land. That's awkward. Kind of have to play the Warhorse. We only have 1 white source in the deck, so... play the blocker. Warhorse is very good with our 2 Vine Walls as well, actually. Because they don't really do much at this point. Ew, a 4/4 reach. Why is everything in my opponent's deck massive? 4/5, 4/5, 5/5, 4/4? They can make 4/4 Power Stones right now? This is a chunky deck. I say with a 4/6 in my hand. Warhorse into Pallbearer here. If they don't have a combat trick, this is a really good block for us. And if they do, it's gone now. Okay. 3/3 into the 5/5. Let's go. That's a wonderful draw. Legitimately fantastic draw. Have to pass the turn here because of the reach. But this is certainly the play. Because that is a brick wall for all of their creatures and a pretty solid attacker for us later if we get far into the lead. Warlord's Elite, it's just all 4/4s in there. It's just beef everywhere. Probably want to use my Memorial to Unity here. Don't really think I can afford to attack still. I kind of want to hold up Remorse to be real safe, and I can't hold up Remorse and use Memorial. I'm 1 mana away from doing that, so... actually just going to pass here and then crack Unity in their end step. If I don't have to use Overwhelming Remorse. Alright. Memorial time. Slimefoot is incredibly good in this exact position. We're going to play Slimefoot and not even cast this Rada right now, because we're not going to be attacking yet. But I could certainly be making some Saprolings. I'd be surprised if they still have removal here, because I think they would have just pulled the trigger on our 4/6. I know what I'm doing with my removal. 6 mana, put a counter on their whole board. Very much know what I'm doing with my removal. Weird. This deck is sick. Alright, I don't have the mana to play this and hold up Slimefoot or this. When I hit one more land, I'll play Rada, but for now I'm just hanging out with Slimefoot. Slimefoot gives us inevitability here. We might have to extinguish Magnagoth at some point to actually start threatening their life total. It's kind of sad. Could stop them from gaining 4 life, and there's no reason not to. Because I'll still have the mana up for either of the things that I was going to do with my mana. Alright. Time to start using the Slimefoot. Shadow Prophecy. I do have enough mana to use Shadow Prophecy and Slimefoot here, so I think I'm going to main phase Shadow Prophecy. Just in case there's something I really want to cast immediately. I am still holding up double black. Alright, let's go. Okay, well, lands are still okay here. We now have full domain for Rada. And the second red, I don't think, yeah, I have not drawn Fight with Fire yet, so we're literally all set up if we top deck a Fight with Fire to shoot 10 damage of creatures off their board, which firmly gets us to killing them. Portal to Phyrexia automatically wins them the game, unfortunately. I guess we lose. Shalai is exiled, but they get our Ironclaw Crusher. And then their Pallbearer. At least I only have to sacrifice Saprolings right now. 2 Saprolings and an O2. I guess we don't automatically lose like usual, but we still probably lose. Yeah, they get a good attack in here now as well. Yikes. Good card. 2/3 into the 4/5 here. Or no, I'd lose the Warhorse. Yeah, I can afford to do that here to stay a little more alive. Okay. I might be all in on Fight with Fire. That might be my only out. Portal doesn't give haste. So we try to get them to 10 life, and then we could Fight with Fire them to death. We're in the chump zone here. I could extinguish to get 2 damage in with Locust. I feel like it's better to just go chump chump here. And I can still extinguish during their turn and then get the 2 damage in during our next turn after this instead. Okay, they pick up the Crusher, as you do. That doesn't really do anything unless they have a lot of artifacts in their decks. That's cool. And it might get them to pay some life, which I'd be very happy with. Okay, they attack with the flyer, or the reach creature here, so I don't even have to kill it. And just go chump chump and attack with Locust. Although, I mean, I can take 4. Do this. Then they have to pick up the reach creature again if they want to stop flying damage. They are in the better aggressive position, but Slimefoot does help me a lot at surviving. So they need to consider that a bit. Oh, they just have another one. Oh, they just have another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. If I play this swamp, I can play Extinguish the Light on their Sentry and Pallbearer my Locust, but then I don't make any Saprolings this next turn. But I hit them hard. I hit them for 6 and put them to 8, so they will be dead to a Fight with Fire if I top deck it. I only need 1 chump blocker, because a 5/5 blocks Warlord's Elite. Oh no, Crusher makes it so I need 2 chump blockers. So I guess I trade into Elite with my 5/5 and I chump block Crusher with a 1/1 when they go for the crackback. Pretty sure this is the play. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. All in on Fight with Fire now. They are dead to it if we can get there. And Slimefoot can try to grind it out to get us there. Probably do survive 1 or 2 more attacks. Juniper Order Root Weaver does help their board go wide. Send in these 2 makes sense. We'll kill the Elite and chump the Crusher. Pretty good attacks for us. How many in deck? 14. 1 in 14 of hitting Fight with Fire. This Power Stone from Genius helps use Slimefoot more often. It's also possible I just grind it out by just repeatedly chumping with Slimefoot. Although they get to play Pallbearer next turn and do the massive Ironclaw Crusher thing, which is hilarious. 1, 2, 3, 4, but I can still just double chump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It feels like it's better to just make 2 Saplings than play either of these. I need to spend 8 mana to make 2 Saplings, which means I don't have the mana for either of these. If they attack too aggressively, Junkyard Genius could find lethal because it can give my Flyer Menace. So we can play it and sack the Power Stone, give Locust +1/+0 Menace. Buff the Root Weaver so they have 3 very big attackers. Probably animate the Power Stone here as well. They attack incredibly aggressively, then giving my whole board Menace might, if we can survive, might get us there. Because it gives Menace and Haste, which is big. Oh no, they have 2 artifacts? I might die right now. Okay, I don't think I die right now off this attack, but they definitely don't die on the crackback, is the thing. I take 10. Do I have another mountain in this deck? No. Okay, so the only out is Fight. Forebear's Blade wins too. I have 2 outs. Fight with Fire and Forebear's Blade win the game. If I had another mountain, then it's possible I could go Genius Rada and then give Haste, and then Rada buffs Locust. Get them down to 5. Genius... Sack Locust is buffed. I don't even need to buff Locust for that to get in, actually. They're attacking with the Reach creature. So we know we're hitting them for 2 in the sky. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have to block 2 things. They're tapped out, right? Yeah, there's no reason for Slimefoot to not block the retrieval unit. This is only non-creature artifacts. It can't buff the unit. So we just take 8. All right. This is the best line. Put them to 5. Forebear's Blade is Exactsies. +3/+0 to the Locust. That's one of the outs. They have no artifact that randomly has reach to animate with Animist. That's it. That's 5 damage in the sky. And they scoop them up. Eat my butt, Portal to Phyrexia. Slimefoot is superior. Stressful games all day today. We are 4-0 heading into round 5. Let's do this. Slimefoot MVP. We already knew that, but... Carrion Locust getting us all the way there as well. All right, we are on the play here. Top line turn 1. We have the black source. We have the 2 main colors and a Burnished Heart for the red source. Let's do this. Very nice late game play that we can ramp into off the Burnished Heart. I'm super into that. Now we've got 2 late game plays actually to ramp into, the Pallbearer and the Crusher. And we've got a Forebear's Blade. Well, let's just get the Burnished Heart going here. There's a really cute combo. If I get my red source, well, I get my red source from the Burnished Heart, then I use the red source to bring it back when I have 7 mana and then just sack it again and get even more lands. Oh, this is going to be cool. This is going to be really fun. I'm not going to use Atrocity yet. I'm just going to crack the Burnished Heart. But late game, we can redo a Burnished Heart. We're not going to do that till late game because obviously Pallbearer is a better play next turn and then Crusher will be the better play after that. But yeah, late game, that's going to be super fun. Balduvian Atrocity, back a Burnished Heart, and then do it all again. Get more lands off it. That's value. Okay, I already have double black and double green and a white source, so I'm just going to hit double red here for if we do hit a late game fight with fire, so it's castable. And if they don't have removal, Ironclaw Crusher is terrifying. It's also 1 more mana than Pallbearer, so we'll play that one first. I did the order incorrectly in my brain. Pallbearer first. Also, Ironclaw Crusher with Forebear's Blade to give it Trample and Vigilance. Heyo! That is not a removal spell, so our opponent is about to have the worst time in the world. Our opponent is about to despise life. Yeah, we're just going to do this and play Llanowar Elves. Because that is... that is bad. That's 14 trample damage. They are at 3 life. Ironclaw Crusher's been disgusting today. We got the 20 damage attack out of nowhere, and now we put a blade on it and just 14'd our opponent. Burnished Heart has also been disgusting, because Burnished Heart is what enabled that play so early this game. If my opponent has an active treason effect, I might just die out of nowhere here. That would be a great way to lose the game. Make Ironclaw Crusher the deck captain, or Burnished Heart. Either one would be fun. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. I can Pallbearer. Or I can Atrocity back the Heart. I kind of like Atrocity back the Heart. I have another hasting threat trying to get in there. And if it's going to die, And I can just sacrifice it for good value anyway. So we're hoping that they don't have the instant speed removal for Crusher. I think I still need to target Crusher. I still need to make them have instant speed removal to kill this, because if I target Burnished Heart, then they can just double block Crusher and live. I guess they would die either way. So this is fine. This is them dead on board. Okay, well, we made them have it, and they did have it, so that is sad. Still get to kill Lava Runner and get a couple lands, and the 4-blade automatically moves over, so we're going to have a menacing Vigilant Trample Atrocity, which is going to need to be killed by removal for them to survive that as well. And let's get our Burnished Heart value. Of course, I have Pallbearer to buff up whatever's got the trample later. That's a Takasia's Onulet. They'll gain 2 life when it dies. Do I have the mana to play Dark Bargain and Pallbearer now? Because I have so much mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I do. Oh my god. So Dark Bargain to put more creatures in grave? Because if I can put 3 more creatures in grave, I win. Oh, I can only put 1 more in grave with this, though. Or no, it needs to be... I need to have 11 power. Currently, I have 5 plus 2, which is 7. Even just putting 1 more creature in grave is pretty valuable. If I put 1 more creature in grave, Atrocity is attacking as a big enough creature to kill both of their creatures? Because it'll be 8 power. Oh, wait a second. If I just Pallbearer Llanowar Elves, they're dead. I'm overthinking this, because this has Menace. So they either double block this and take 3, or they block this and then they can't block this. Yeah, I'm overthinking this. Apologies to my opponent. I did not see lethal. I can even, because First Strike, make it 6 damage. Just to be rude. Deck has been doing sweet things. We are 5 wins and no losses in now. We're heading into round 6. We just need to win 2 more games before we lose 3. I'm going to try quite hard to keep it up. Would be super sweet to just run it back 7-0 into 7-0. Alright, opponent on the play. We do have a turn 2 Fluriferous Vine Wall. We have double black for Extinguish. Just need a red source for Rada. And ideally some non-lands drawn. But this is a very keepable opener. I think I'm going to go Aquifer Forest Vine Wall here. Turn 1, turn 2 land drops. Get one of the swamps out of the way for Extinguish. Junkyard, geez, we do really need that red source now. Opponent's pretty aggro with 3... Well, there's the red source. 3 power creature for 2 mana. Not what I like to see. And now a 3 power creature for 3 mana. They're curving out on us. Might have to just trade a Junkyard Genius into a 3-1. In our deck, that's genuinely just fine. Although Disfigure's a beautiful draw. Go for a Disfigure instead. I can get my tap land out of the way by doing that. Yeah. Could be the same outcome as playing Junkyard Genius, except I won't have a Power Stone left over. And this way I might be able to play Junkyard Genius in a better position later, where I can actually do something with it. Send in the squad, Disfigure the one with Reach, because that's a little better on the board than Soul Tender is, plus the Soul Tender can do things in the graveyard, whereas the Rock Hunter can't. You got a ninjutsu? In Dominaria? In this economy? Scrap work raging. Very nice value play. But now I play a 3-3 and they can't attack with the 2-2 into it. It's the Brothers War ninjas you really have to watch out for. No! Rudda has been shot to death with the fires of victory. Actually pretty good for me because they didn't have the mana to kick it, so we got to get that out of the way when they couldn't draw a card off of it. Take 8, go to 6 life. Then I extinguish and gain 2. Oh, it might be Vinewall's time. So, I mean, I take 8 and go to 6. And then they only have 5 power on the board. Keep Vinewall for now. Always trump block next turn. Fungal infection. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that is perfect. We're going to Fungal Infection the Soul Tender and have a 1-1 on board, which is beautiful because the 1-1 can kill the Rager later if I just sack a card to the Junkyard Genius, sack the Power Stone to it later. I might want a Fungal Infection while they're tapped out. But then if they have nothing else to do with their turn, if they hit a land, they can just exile the Soul Tender. But if they do that, they only get a 3-1 back, so yeah, let's do this while they're tapped out. Do that while they're tapped out. A little worried about burn now if I go down like 4 life, so I'm gonna get rid of Vinewall at this point. Might Stone and Weak Stone, probably drawing 2, but they could kill the Genius as well. They are going to draw 2. Memorial is the play, and then we pass the turn. Probably supposed to chip in here. Yeah. They don't have Unearth. They're in red, though. They could have haste. If they do, I'll extinguish. Okay, now they are going to have an Unearth in their grave. Unless they have a trick here. Okay, trade. So they've got the Rager Unearth to draw another card later. Oh, they could even Soul Tender it back to hand and just play it naturally. That is the play. We've got great value going on in there. Battlefield Butcher is horrific. Kind of need to extinguish that. That does 2 damage to me every turn, and I cannot afford to take 2 damage every turn. I feel like I extinguish that and hold on to the Fight with Fire, because again, it could get kicked for lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't have the mana to Memorial and Extinguish here, unfortunately. But we're going to do Extinguish, and I'm going to do it right now before they can use the ability, because they've got this mana rock that's perfect for using that kind of ability. There's the Rager. We're back up to 9 from Extinguish. They're down to 14. I just need to hit them for 4 more if I hit another mountain. But I need to survive. Pallbearer. Pallbearer certainly helps survive. It's a 5/5 blocker, but the problem is the Thalid Omnivore can sacrifice the Rager to be a 5/5 attacker. So I might be in a position where I'm supposed to just fight with fire the Thalid instead of holding on to it. Especially because if they have removal in hand for the Pallbearer, that'll be really bad. If I fight with fire the Omnivore here, I can shoot it down, then trade Genius into Rager and still use Memorial to Unity this turn, and then I just go for regular Pallbearer win. This is tough. There are two different ways I try to win. 3 cards in their hand still. And Rager drawing another one. I think we need to just find lethal out of absolute nowhere. I think I'm just gonna slam down Pallbearer. I don't think I can grind this one out super well, because they have 3 more cards in hand here. All right, land. I think I'm dead. Yep, that's the best card they could have had. An act of treason. I'm very dead. 5-1, 5-1. We're not 6 wins yet. We're close. Yeah, Keldon Overseer is just a really brutal card late game because it completely ruins blocking math, because you have another attacker than they were. You have 2 more attackers than your opponent expects, because you have another haste creature that turn and you have their own creature attacking them, and your opponent has 1 less blocker than they expect because you've taken the blocker from them. That was pretty devastating. This hand is beautiful. Okay, a Haunted Miner here. What are these lands? They are gorgeous. Some fancy, beautiful lands from our opponent here. 2/1 Vigilance. I can disfigure it immediately, or I can just Vine Wall. Vine Wall chump block might be decent, because if I hit a red source for Atrocity, dang. If I hit a red source right here, then chump with Vine Wall would be great, because then Atrocity's going to bring it back later and get another land. Didn't hit a red source. I already have double green and double black, so it doesn't really matter. I've got more black cards than green cards, though, so we'll grab another swamp. Blue, black, and white Esper from our opponent. And a Vivisector is the play. Attack for 2. Now there's not a great reason to chump with Vine Wall immediately. Got a Junkyard Genius for later. I think I probably have to just play a 2/3 because it holds off their 2/2s if they don't kill it. And we don't know when we're going to hit the red source since we didn't get there off of Vine Wall. Another 2/2. Alright, if they don't have removal for our 2/3, it's just blocking for days. Arcane Flight on Figment. That is 100% getting disfigured now because we get to kill the Figment and the Flight off of 1 spell. And now I have the perfect follow-up play, which is Burnished Heart, because then I can grab the Mountain and another land for Pallbearer, so that's going to give me access to Genius and Pallbearer later. I could Locust too, but being able to get towards these 2 cards is very valuable to me. So I'm going to set that up. Probably grabbing the double red again since we already have double green, double black. The double red lets us activate Genius more often, or it lets us fight with fire, of course. Like the best card in our deck. We're getting combat tricked. Military Discipline or something. Go to 11 if I don't block here, and then they just play another creature and keep it coming. If I trade Atrocity 1/1 for a combat trick, that's fine. Yeah, sure, let's see what it is. Trade 1-for-1 into the combat trick here, put them down to 2 cards in hand. Okay, that does not win the combat, but it keeps their creature alive. Very glad I blocked. So now we drop Memorial to Unity, and we're going to cycle Heart. So I need 3 mana up. I could play a 1-1. You can kind of tell how I feel about that plan by the way I stated that. Splatter Goblin. See, this is why we didn't play a 1-1. You could have Essence Scatter here for 2. I have viable plays without cracking the Burnished Heart right now. I can just play a 3-3, which is good against their board. You know what? Okay, we have tested the waters and there is no Essence Scatter. Does this resolve in an order where they can kill my Sapperling if I kill their Goblin? I don't know. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn, create a 1-1. I feel like Goblin's ability has to choose its target before I get the 1-1. I mean, it's a fine deal either way, it's basically just figure. Splatter Goblin says when it dies, give a creature -1/-1. Fungal Infection says give a creature -1/-1 and create a 1-1. I think Splatter Goblin gets to kill my 1-1, actually. Because Splatter Goblin won't be dead till Fungal Infection's entire spell resolves. Played against a lot of Mightstone Weakstones today. There goes my Confessor, I guess. Yep. And there goes my Confessor. Still doing good on board. They still can't attack us. Yeah, Fungal fully resolves before Goblin dies. I can't really play Locust until Goblin is dead, so it might still be worth it. But Goblin doesn't do anything else except kill my Locust. I guess it threatens to attack into Atrocity. You know what? Fine. Just trade Fungal Infection for the Goblin. Get that thing out of here. Alright, naturally hit the red source. Looks like we get to keep Burnished Heart around forever. Unless I draw my, whatchamacallit. One creature engrave away from wanting to Pallbearer to buff Atrocity, because they can still double block it as a 3/4, so I might just Genius plus Locust here. Yeah, now that they can't kill the Locust with the Splatter Goblin, this seems good. Send a message, exile the Goblin. Cloud Reader Sphinx, dang. That's an issue. At 13 life over here. We can try to outrace them with Junkyard Genius, but that's going to be 3 damage a turn, and they scried something good to the top as well. Ooh, and they have a 2-mana card to play off Mightstone Weakstone. Nasty. Oh! Top deck God. Oh, this card's not scary. Equip creature gets +1/+1, that's it. +1/+1 and Ward 2 is annoying, but not scary. Okay. What happens if I Junkyard Genius here? Good amount of damage, honestly. And I can choose to sack the Vine Wall instead of the Power Stone? I'm gonna kill that thing so they have like no crack back, and then I'm just gonna Junkyard Genius the Vine Wall away. Well, am I? It's actually not a ton of damage. They kill Atrocity, I kill one of their creatures. Hit for 6? They're at 13? Nothing else I'm doing with my mana, and Vine Wall isn't doing much, so I guess. If I attack with Genius, I'm offering the trade there, but if they take that trade, they don't have enough creatures to block any of the menace, which means they take 9 and go to 10. Not worth it. Just send these in. Okay, they are going to kill the Atrocity. We'll kill the Vivisector. They're down to 13. The life totals are even. My board state is better, but they have been scrying the same card to the top over and over and over, so it could be bad for me. Night of Dawn's Light. That's not good for me. I can tell you that at least. But it's not horrific. They only have one white source, so it's basically a 3/3 first strike. They have a... alright. Mildly bold attack. They can't block anything if I sack something to Genius now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 2 mana away from playing the Pallbearer and giving it Haste and Menace. It is still an excellent play. We buff like this because Burnished Heart is the creature we would actually want to block with and is going to do just as much damage as the Genius would on attacks. And this way we might get to kill the Knight instead of just poking their face for a bunch. I think killing the Knight is better there. Okay, exile the Pallbearer. They have 1 3/3 on board. We have 3 creatures. We are in the lead. We even have a Memorial to Unity. They're still sticking bold here. Putting us down to 7. Crack the Memorial. Does Llanowar kill them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 1 damage off from killing them, because I could play the Elves and spend 3, sack the Power Stone, give Elves +1 haste. It doesn't quite kill them, so I think we just grab Slimefoot. Because it is the greatest of those cards. 7 life here. Slimefoot gives us the game on lock. What could they have for 4 extra damage? Not a ton. I'm going to attack with everybody. And blue, black, white, 4 extra damage here. Alright, they are going to scoop them up. If they were a red deck, I might have held Burnished Heart back. Or a green deck, because of the combat tricks, like +4/+4 if you kick it and stuff like that. Alright. Greetings, human. You have entered the stress zone. We are 6-1. We have 2 games to get another win. If we win the next game, we're out, we're good, we get our Decathlon token. But if we don't, then it's win or lose. So we are 6-1 heading into round number 8. We are going first here with Disfigure and Fungal Infection, but no other colors. Locust on 3 if I hit 1 land, 4 Bear's Blade if I hit that land. I'll have a Sapperling and a Locust to put it onto. Any land means I can play everything but Fight with Fire, and I have a Blade to put on these 2 creatures, so... feels wrong, but I'm going to keep this. Because any 1 land makes our early game really, really good. Doesn't matter what color it is, it could be a Plains. It is a Plains. It is a Plains, but it's also a green source, which lets us cast almost everything in our deck now. Everything except our red spells. Oh, Fungal is good here. This ability, when it enters mill 3, you may put a Plains or creature if you don't put a counter on it. I can't... wait until they choose not to put a creature in hand, right? Because if I wait until they choose, it automatically gets the counter. I can't respond to them getting a counter by putting Infection on it, right? I'd have to Infection right now. I'm just going to let it happen and figure out. And then I'll Disfigure if they pick something up. All right. Or Disfigure if they don't pick something up. I was correct. There is no chance to respond when we know if they're getting a counter. I don't have the deck list in text form anywhere. You could check out the video on demand and scroll back to it. I'll go ahead and get that after this game. Although if we win this game, it'll be the end of the stream. But I'll open the deck list after this game. Sorry about that. So I can copy it, do the export thing on Arena. Alright, Cavalier is fine by me. I'm gonna eviscerate for it, but I can just set up a blade, which I will do. Do that and hold up Infection to trade into Cavalier now that I have another creature to play to put Blade onto. Although it might be valuable enough to leave just any creature on board for the Blade that I don't actually want to trade my Sapperling into the Cavalier here. Herbalist. Okay, now we have a really good target for Infection, so I'm just going to pick the Herbalist and then put the Blade on the Sapperling. This is a Warhorse. If I get one more mana, I can kick that and it'll be wonderful. For now, Sapperling is big enough to trade into Cavalier, and we're hitting them down to a lower life total than they've hit us down to. But we're winning in terms of life total. We've got a pretty decent hand here. They're going to have to Obliterating Bolt a Sapperling. Part of the power of Forebear's Blade is that it turns everything into a threat. Even a Sapperling token draws removal from our opponent. Memorial to Unity here. I'm going to have to trade Atrocity into the Cavalier most likely. I think I would rather trade that than Eviscerate into it, because they can enlist the Cavalier to buff it. Mechanized Warfare makes any red cards they draw pretty scary, but for now they don't have anything that it's buffing. Well, it buffs Shivan Fire, although they could have kicked it to kill that anyway. Down to 11. Overwhelming Remorse now for more removal. Phyrexian Warhorse is really good on this board. So we'll drop that. Our life total's under a bit of pressure, but not that much until they play Artifact or... Oh god. Okay, Mechanized Warfare is horrifying with Scrapwork Cohort, but I can exile the Cohort so that they don't get any more soldiers off of it, which I think is going to be the play here. Remorse the Cohort. One mana off from putting the Blade on something. I really think I need to Remorse this thing when they have Mechanized Warfare. That's what I'm gonna do. Again, Blade on anything is super scary, and I really need more blockers, so I'm just gonna slam down a 1/1 Confessor here. And now I can block sack the Soldier on Cavalier to trade a Soldier into the Cavalier instead if they send that attack in. Unless they have a combat trick here, they've only got 2 cards in hand. If I make them have it, we'll find out. Even if they have the combat trick here, we can throw a Blade onto the Confessor and then have another blocker for Cavalier. After this. Alright, that worked. Just a land. Okay, Slimefoot's a huge way to stabilize here because of the potential life gain. Is it better to just slap a Blade onto something, though? It honestly probably is. Yep, even if they kill Warhorse, the Blade moves to the Confessor. And I get Vigilant attacks in, so I kill them in like 2 swings, because I can sack things to the Warhorse. Just a land off the top for our opponent, and they're at 9 life facing this monstrosity. Attack in, they can double block to threaten to kill it, but then I sack the Confessor here. They take 6, go to 3 life. I don't have an instant, so we'll play another blocker. Pass the turn. Squee Dubious Monarch is really threatening with Mechanized Warfare, but I don't think it's enough. That's a 3/2 and a 2/1 attacking, basically. So I'll block the 3/2 with my 6/3, the 2/1 with my 1/1, and then sacrifice the 1/1 to save my 6/3 from dying. And take no damage in the process. Ready to attack with whatever the Blade's on for lethal. Even if Warhorse gets killed here. Recast the Squee, they have 4 toughness on board at 3 life. 6 power, just sack a Slimefoot and we get there. Could also eviscerate Squee, which is a tiny bit safer, so I'll do that. Sack or attack with the Warhorse and don't sack Slimefoot, and we're already threatening lethal. And we'll get there. 7-1 for the Dominaria Mixer Sealed Arena Decathlon. This has been a great couple decathlon events for us today. Very stressful day with a lot of incredibly close, hard-fought games, but a lot of victories in there. So 4,000 gold and the Decathlon token. We're going to claim that fries? I am hungry. It is past dinner time. We're going to claim those fries, grab our Decathlon token number 3, and we now have all 4 Decathlon tokens so far. And that is going to end today's video. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to let the YouTube algorithm know to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to hang out in real time where this was streamed live, check out the Twitch channel on the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, check out the Patreon link in the description below. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be seeing you again soon for some more Magic Arena.